I nui kia tātou katoa I tēnei pū, ke mana whenua o tēnei rohi, tēnā koutou, ki ngā iwi katoa I tēnei pū, tēnā koutou katoa. Greetings everyone, my name is Jerry Burns. I'm a member of these days of the Wellington Central electorate. For the last 4 years I was living in the Ohariu electorate. I don't belong, nor have I belonged to a political party. I'm a Catholic priest of the Archdiocese of Wellington, and presently I have 2 parishes, St Joseph's in Mount Victoria and Te Ngākau Tapu Māori Parish in Porirua. I'm a member of the Commission for Justice, Peace and Development of the Archdiocese of Wellington and a board member of Caritas Aotearoa New Zealand. But I'm here speaking this evening in my own name. I'm here to oppose these proposed asset sales, and that opposition comes from my understanding of the social teaching of my church and my experience in Aotearoa, in East Timor and in South America, observing periods of social and economic change, and particularly in Peru and here, times of privatisation and neoliberal reform. I'll keep it brief. Basically my opposition comes from a philosophical understanding of what's good for the wider community. I believe, and this comes too also from the teaching of, social teaching of my church, that any political community, we often call it a state, and for our purposes the state effectively is Aotearoa New Zealand, communities build up collective assets for the common good. And how much of a society and an economy is held in common, is held collectively, will vary and has varied from age to age and according to need. So there's a certain amount of differentiation according to the situation of a country, of a nation, of a state, where it's located in the world, what its history has been, what its levels of wealth are. But I think here in New Zealand, collectively we've developed certain assets because of the shape of the country and the position of the country to try and protect and care for the people of the country. That's everything from governmental systems to court systems to roading to forms of communication and forms of energy production and distribution. And I think that the key here we're talking about is particularly energy production and distribution, and that's a key thing. Access to that, equitable access to that, is a key thing for the well-being of ordinary people. And that's the idea of a common good. What is good for the people of New Zealand, the collective, the common good, and especially the good of those who are most vulnerable and those most in need. That should be the key concern in any question of the common good. It's not just the good of the majority, it's how does this affect those most in need. And I believe that with the evidence that we have previously and in other countries, that these forms of privatisation of collective or public goods don't work for the best interests of those most in need. So I'm opposed to these sales for both those reasons. I think it runs against the common good, and I don't think it will help the less well-off in society, and in fact will promote the particular good of a very small group of people. We can call that the 1%, the better off, the wealthy, whatever it is. So the 5 things that I would say in conclusion. I oppose these asset sales because I think they will lead to more inequality and to private profit from what should be held in common, what should be for the good of all. In terms of the sale of 49% of the assets that are in common ownership at present, to a relatively few for their benefit, I see that as a theft, a kind of theft from the wider community, taking what should be for all and giving it to a few. Insofar as the justification for such a sale is to pay off debt, and such entities already giving a return that can help to pay off debt, such a sale is an absurdity and a stupidity. Insofar as such a sale may leave this country open to legal action by private companies against the interests of the collective, to me is a loss of legitimate economic sovereignty. And insofar as a sale of these assets undermines the Crown's trustee responsibilities under the Treaty of Waitangi, or affects Māori claims under that treaty, Such sales are a breach of trust and responsibility by the Crown, which should face legal liability for the same.